from the Jays. Now they move out of the division. They'll look to the west. It's the Los Angeles Angels coming to town. Wade Chen makes the start next. It's the Orioles on Masson, and here at home on a gorgeous evening. Fans coming in to see the Angels as they make their first trip east to take on the Orioles game one of this weekend set. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. And the Orioles move to a Western Division opponent for the first time this season. This matchup a bit intriguing. The Orioles here at home, one of the best offenses, if not the best, in Major League Baseball. While for the Angels, they are struggling, be it home or road, with an offense that just is not clicking. We'll see if that holds true for tonight. For the Orioles, let's do a little comparison work. We're halfway through the second month of the season. In April, the Orioles had a .500 record. They're 2 below that right now. Runs per game has dropped from 5.6 to 3.2, but what's happened is the pitching has picked up the slack. Starter ERA down from that 5 to a 3.82, and the bullpen ERA has dropped from 4.35 down to 1.5. So they've kind of reversed directions. The leaders here this month, Jimmy Paredes, who would have thought? 9 RBIs on top. Manny Machado first in runs this month. Manny's also first in on-base percentage, and Paredes, there he is again with the best slugging percentage so far. So Jim, halfway through May, that's where we are.
Well, it's kind of what happened last year. The Orioles played .500 baseball until they got to June, and then they zoomed, and they didn't zoom because of the offense. They zoomed, not that they didn't lead the American League in home runs, they did, but they zoomed because of the pitching. So if we're going to talk about trends, they're trending in the right way. But they were very happy to get out of New York at the time. The Mets had the best pitching in the National League. Yankees still have the best pitching in the American League. So you come home, as you mentioned, scoring over 6 runs a game. And that's going to be the test because the Angels starters, 7 out of the last games, 2 runs or less. And as you mentioned, they're not scoring a lot of runs. But they do have Mike Trout. So pitch around him.
And Dan Duquette was just telling me doing his May 15 write-ups. The Orioles have 16 more home runs so far this year than they did at the same point last year. Who would have thought that?
No, but again, we know it's about the pitching. We've seen that. You know, Tillman pitched well through 6 innings, and then the defense let him down the other night. So Ubaldo was fabulous on Monday night against a very good hitting team, best offense in the American League. And then Miguel Gonzalez, he had one of those games the other night where I thought he was going to pitch 9 innings. Got a little trouble in the 8th inning, but did get into the 8th, and the Orioles won easily.
Orioles put the left-hander on the mound tonight. Good crowd will be on hand here at Camden Yards, and when we come back, we'll have a chance to see the Angels. Pujols, Trout, and company up next. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Royal Farms. Royal Farms ATMs are surcharge free. Get your cash for nothing. Bank or credit card fees may still apply. It is a gorgeous night here in Baltimore and at Camden Yards. Our BGE home game time temperature at 72 degrees. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Starting lineup for the Angels: Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols. Freeze, Ibar, Giovanella, Perez, Crone, and Cowgill. You see Trout so far this season first in runs.
And Wei Chen, who will turn 30 later on in the month of July. So again, a lot of fastballs, breaking ball, curveball, slider, changeup, probably more. Really worked on it this spring training. So at least if you're the opposition, you know he throws more changeups than usual. Again, not a lot of wins, but he has pitched well. 3 quality starts, and as a matter of fact, to go all the way back to September, 11 straight games, with the exception in the Boston game, where he's given up 3 earned runs or less. In that game, they got 5 unearned runs, and Wayne got his only loss of the year.
So Wei Chen ready to go against the Angels as they get a look at the Orioles left-hander, and we'll see whether or not the Orioles can do what the rest of baseball has done so far, and that's hold this Angels offense down. Calhoun at the top of the order, getting the start in right field. Orioles will play Manny Machado in a bit at third base, and the left-hander's delivery to him is in there for a strike, and we are underway.
Yeah, Cole Calhoun, hit 17 home runs last year, and you figure, okay, lefty versus lefty. You can see the numbers right there, 5 for his last 12, but he's hitting .378 against left-handed pitching. That's 100 points higher than what he does against righties.
Pitch is in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strikeout on Calhoun. Chen, who's picked up his speed as far as the process of working ball games this year, certainly hasn't hurt his cause. Left-handers hitting only .179 with 1 home run. The right-handers .222. They've hit in 4 long balls. Overall, just .213 against Chen. Pitching coaches love that. Dave Wallace watching his starter right now. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be fouled back into the screen on a pretty good cut. Calhoun does have one of the hot bats in this lineup against the Orioles. 6 for 28. That's a .214 average. He's played in only 6 games against the Orioles previously. As Mike Scioscia, veteran manager of this ball club, which had a lot of accolades about winning the division. They still might. That one will be out to left field. Not deep. Diaz. He's got it.
Yeah, take a look at the Oriole defense. Diaz, who played right, is over in left with Delman Young over in right field. You got 4-time Gold Glover Adam Jones in center field. Machado, Hardy, Platinum Glove at third. 3-time Gold Glover at short. Navarro, Davis, and then Caleb Joseph. Big night with a bat on Wednesday night.
And here is Trout, starting center fielder, hitting at .289, but this is not a hot streak for him. He's only had 7 hits in his last 37. 7 for his last 37. He'll try and break out of it against the left-hander. He's hitting .280 off the lefties, 12 points lower than he is against right-handers so far this year. 1-0 delivery, and that ball smacked the other way. Long run Young. There'll be no play on it. The Orioles play Trout to pull all the way in the outfield, so anything down that right field line is not going to get caught.
Yeah, we saw a bunch of home runs in the Toronto series to right field, and of course this is such a Don Baylor, their hitting instructor, along with Dave Hansen, who I believe one of his sons or daughters is high school graduation, so he's not here, but he'd love to hit in this park because it's hitter friendly. And there's the low inside fastball.
Home plate umpire is Eric Cooper. He is also the crew chief, working behind the plate, veteran umpire.
And Trout can hit the ball to right center as well as he can pull it. I mean, tremendous power to the opposite field.
He's had 1 home run lifetime off Chen. He's 1 for 3. Kind of ironically, both he and Pujols 1 for 4 against Chen, each with a home run. That one is just going to miss, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Little breeze blowing out towards left field, not enough to affect any ball hit, at least not at this moment in the ball game. And a swing and a miss on a great pitch that he buried down and in.
Yeah, well, that's a great way to describe it, because that's what you try to do with your breaking ball to, the guy that won the MVP last year. You want to bury it. You want to throw it under the strike zone, and that's exactly what he does.
Not going to hit that one. Not with the paddle. Here is Pujols. Pujols also struggling at the plate. He's only had 3 hits in his last 21 at-bats. Pujols in the month of May hitting a good deal better than Trout is, though. He started out with a strike. He too 1 for 5 off Chen, and as I said, that one hit being a home run.
Yeah, Wayne Trent trying to do tonight what he's never done, which is to beat the Angels. Well, only a couple of starts. There's another strike. And he's 13-3 against the American League West, but against this team, not a lot of opportunities.
5.23 ERA against the Angels in those 3 career starts. Got one up that Pujols wanted to drive, and he will foul that one away. Orioles put the shift on against the veteran as they move their second baseman Navarro almost behind the bag. It's really spread out. A lot of room short to second, a lot of room second to first, and squeezing it third and short. Pujols, that'll be just tip foul, rolls back. Count will remain at 2 strikes. He's had hits 13 of his last 15, hitting at a .288 clip over those 15 games, but it's surprising, only 3 for 27 against the left-handers for him. 0-2 outfield deep. Chen off that third base side of the rubber. 0-2, and this down low to him, 1-2. Angels coming in with a 3-game win streak. That is their longest of the season. They have allowed only 4 runs during the 3-game hit streak. 1-2 delivery, got all of that one. That is way back in left field, and goodbye home run. Albert Pujols delivers the long ball with 2 down. And the Angels get an early 1-0 lead in this ball game. That's his 3rd career home run at Camden Yards.
Well, you mentioned now that's the 6th home run, but 5 of them against by right-handed hitters. And in this ballpark, you don't really have to try to hit home runs. All you have to do is put a good swing on it. You can see that this is his 526th home run. And the ball's in. He just gets the bat head to it. 92 miles per hour. And then he just skies it, and then one of the Oriole fans throws it back on the field.
6th home run of the season for Pujols. He's always been a good hitter against the Orioles, especially in this yard. And a 1-0 lead coming with 2 down. Here's Freese. David Freese, ground ball into the shift. Navarro perfectly positioned. Will make the play to retire the side. So a run on a hit, no errors, nobody left. Pujols begins it with the long ball. We'll check the Orioles lineup in a minute. won the season series last year 4-2. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for this one. Brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Machado, De Aza, Paredes, Jones, Davis, and Young, Hardy, Navarro, and Joseph. Manny has reached base safely now in 19 straight games.
And the Orioles will face Jared Weaver, 32-year-old right-hander out of California. You can see, kind of mixing them up. Probably a little bit more of a mix. Velocity has dropped. Did get up to 87, 88 in his last game, his only win. That was a 9-inning 6-hitter against the Houston Astros at home.
And Weaver will be facing Manny Machado in that leadoff spot. Also a 6-game hit streak for Manny. And he'll go after the first pitch to left field off the end. Cow goes there, and a pitch and an out. Manny Machado.
Now take a look at the Angel defense. Cowgill, Trout, and Calhoun. That's your outfield for the Angels. Freeze, Ibar, Giappatella, and comes over from Kansas City and is playing every day. Pujols over at first, and then Carlos Perez doing the catching.
Alejandro De Aza. Left-handers have really hit Weaver this year at .313. Right-handers .256. Average is way up against Weaver this season. .288 overall. Last year he finished with an opponent batting average of .239. Right now it is .288. And that's a fly ball to center field. Hit hard. Trout back there, reaching and makes the catch. He actually had another step he could have taken, but thought the wall was there. Diaz is retired, 2 down.
Yeah, this is a small ballpark, but he plays very deep. So again, with his speed, gets to it easily. He's the hero of their walk-off win the other day. And not only did he make a great catch, similar to this one, also threw out, I think, Carlos Gomez at the plate. So again, you go back to what the ball that J.J. Hardy hit in his rookie year over the fence in right center. It all started for Mike Trout back then.
And here's Jimmy Paredes. 12-game hit streak and a swing and a miss on it. He loves going after those first pitches. Right now he's got the 3rd longest hit streak in the majors. Wilson Ramos of Washington's at 16. Sin-Soo Choo of Texas at 14. And then Jimmy Paredes at 12. So the 3rd longest hit streak going in the majors belongs to the Orioles DH. Batting 3rd in this ball game. He's faced Weaver only a couple of times. 0 for 2 against him. 1-1 delivery on the way. Well, yikes. How about that for an off-speed pitch?
There's 67. Well, he will change speeds, and he could be a right-handed version, a much taller version of a lot of pitchers that have come down. Jamie Moore, left-handed, would get you out at 83, and his changeup would be 79.
Well, his fastball is only going to be right there, 85 to 87. It's actually higher than it was at the beginning of the season when he was down in the mid-80s, 82 or 83. So he's got to finesse you. He's got to pitch, and he can do that. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll come inside at 84.
Yeah, we saw Mike Butcher, his pitching coach, and Mike Scioscia, the skipper of the Angels, saying they're trying to get him to maybe use his legs a little bit more. I mean, he's, 6'7", throws the ball downhill with the best of them.
3-2 delivery on the way, off-speed pitch. One of the things Buck Showalter mentioned in passing, which is always how you have to listen to Buck, is he said, Weaver's pitching today. 120 pitches last time. The Orioles know that. They would like to be able to force him to go deep in counts early, having thrown 120 in the complete game in his last outing. That's the kind of at-bat they're looking for early in the ballgame. And he doesn't do that very often. His 6th walk of the season. That'll open the door for Adam Jones coming up. Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to you by American Standard.
Well, there you go. I mean, Jonesy's actually 1 for 11 in his last 11 at-bats, but all of a sudden, if you look at David Freese on the right-hand side, you get a good matchup. And the thing about Adam Jones, he said, I'm ready to play. We all know that. Anybody gets a chance to see him. If you come in as an opponent, you know this guy plays the game full out. He's kind of the Mike Trout of the Orioles.
2 down, pitch to him, will be outside. American Standard celebrate the season with their all-star event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities. Adams got a big 7 for 23 with 2 home runs off Weaver. This is where Weaver has run into trouble after he gets the first and or second out. That ball is going to go in the air to right field, charging Calhoun. He'll get there. A lot of hang time on that one, and he will put it away. 3 fly ball outs. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on base. Perhaps nobody pitches faster than Weaver does. He gets out of it in a hurry. In tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Wei and Chen will be facing Ibar, Giavotella, and Carlos Perez.
Yeah, you look at the Angels, and they're 6-3 against left-handed starters, and then they're 11-14 against right-handers. And you wonder, well, maybe it's just the way their guys pitched that particular night, but the numbers really favor. They hit much better against left-handed pitching.
They're 256 off lefties, 224 off right-handers with that 6-3 record against lefties. Wei and Chen Ibar, he goes after it, lines it left field. De Aza back, reaching and can't get it. Goes off the wall and over him. Ibar's into second base, and Ibar will start out the second inning with a hard double.
He's now 16 for his last 37. So we talked about Trout hitting pretty well, Cole, Calhoun, and right here he just hits a rocket and again doesn't get a very good read on it. I mean, it's trying to track it down, and because the ball's so hard and he doesn't really take a great route to the ball, it gets over. It would have been a very difficult play to make.
So Giavotella will come up with a runner in scoring position. 27-year-old, played last year and for past 4 years with Kansas City, going up and down between AAA and the majors with KC all 4 years. Giavotella 1 for 3 lifetime off Chen. Hardy holding the runner close at second base. Foul back into the screen. Giavotella's 9 for 25 with runners in scoring position. Pretty good number.
He's done a nice job for him, and they were talking about the fact he was down the list of the 4 guys Howie Kendrick traded to the Dodgers. So somebody had to play second, and you know, we've seen him come up and down over the years. He's always hit well at AAA Omaha. And Don Baylor, the hitting instructor, said he likes it. He can get on the high ball.
One delivery to him, and that will be taken on the inside corner for a strike. But you can see how aggressive this team is. They go after almost every first pitch thrown up and down the lineup. Giavotella did here in this at bat.
Yeah, you know he would love to have been able to, and maybe can he still do it with 2 strikes, hit a ball to the right side. If you're struggling for runs, it's a lot easier to be able to drive them in with a man at third and less than 2 outs.
0-2 delivery to him, keeping it inside. Giavotella is another one of their right-handed batters who's actually done better against right-handed pitching. He's hitting .263 lefties, .289 right-handers. 1 ball, 2 strike count from Chen. Ibar's on at second base. Nobody out. 1-0 lead early on for the Angels. 1-2 delivery on the way, and he tried to punch that way, and it's foul.
Yeah, still the count. We haven't seen him. We're only in the second inning. He hadn't yet to throw a changeup. Go back and look at the first numbers. 13% of the pitches he's thrown, up about maybe 4% over last year. Wei Chen did lead the Orioles with 16 wins, but Norris second with 15.
Both teams fly ball pitchers on the mound. Weaver and Chen both about 60% of their outs recorded in the air, and that obviously could be dangerous here at Camden Yards.
Unless you can, to the right guy, get him to hit it to the big part of the park. And then to some guys that doesn't matter.
Yeah. 1-2 the count. Again another timeout. Chen taking a little too long. Giovatello not wanting to wait that long, keeps backing out on him. Ibar jumping off second. Pretty good secondary lead for him. Giovatello ground ball. Hardy will have to go to first. It was hit behind the runner, so Giovatello gets the job done as he moves the runner up. A number to keep in mind here, with the Angels having already put a run up on the board. When the opposing team scores first, the Orioles have won only one game. They are 1-11. Now when they score first, they are 14-6. Big difference. And the numbers hold true in the same way for the Angels. The Angels are 12-4 when they score first in a ball game. Infield is drawn in. Here is Carlos Perez, their young catcher, and he will take the pitch for a strike. I shouldn't say young in the sense of age, young in the sense of catching for this team. He's a 7-year minor leaguer.
Well, they like the way. I mean, he's hitting 5 to 6, short stroke. He's only had 6 opportunities to drive in runs. He's done it 2 of those 6 times.
Check swing on a ball. It's going to miss. He's hit the lefties hard early. 4 for 11. Check swing called strike. 0-2.
And then you talked about the walk-off home run on Cinco de Mayo, his major league debut.
This is their starting catcher. Mike Scioscia hasn't said it officially, but it's official. If you look at what they're doing with him, he's now behind the plate. Iannetta has lost that job. 0-2 count. Runner off third. Way up high by Chen, asking him to chase, and he wouldn't do it. A 1-ball 2-strike count.
Yeah, you always go and talk to either catchers, especially guys that used to catch for Mike Scioscia, and they will say he's quite a taskmaster, but you learn to do it the right way. And Mike likes the way, how quiet Perez is as far as receiving the ball.
1-ball 2-strike delivery to him. Ball put up in the air. Could get a run in. Running catch. Runner tags. Here's the throw. Young's got a cannon, and they cut it off. Run scores. Del Mignon let it go. It'll be a sac fly for Perez, and a 2-0 lead for the Angels.
Yeah, not a very good throw, and this inning starts when Piazza doesn't make a good route. I mean, this ball's not very deep, but because of the angle, it's hard to get your balance, and then you could see how far up the line that throw was going to be. And then the other part of it is Ibar runs well.
So they get it done. That's a manufactured run to the baseball adage, and a 2-0 lead. Perez picks up the RBI. Boy, he has been a leader on this ball club in that department since joining. And the pitch will be taken inside for a ball. Crone, they hope's going to deliver some power for this club. Right now it's a struggle. That ball popped up right field, not deep. Second base Navarro. He'll go back and will put it away. So that'll do it. But a run on a hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Angels 2 and the Orioles 0. Shady Side, $500 for being selected, $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play baseball. Buck scratch-offs win up to $50,000. Or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Real good crowd on hand here on this Friday night. Shift on against Davis. 7 for 34 off Weaver. He has had more at-bats against Jared Weaver than anybody else in the Orioles lineup. Outfield deep. 0-1 delivery. Davis will take it. It is in there for a strike. Told you, Weaver works in a hurry. He gets that ball back and he's ready to go. He's averaging only 15.2 pitches per innings pitched, which is really good. Anything under that 16-17 mark's a good one. Davis will take the slider that will miss inside, and a ball and 2 strikes.
Now he's got 4 pitches, and you saw the 68-mile-per-hour curveball, slider a little bit harder in the 70s. Change up right around 80.
0-2, and that was a wiffle ball, and Davis is gone.
Now 51st strikeout, and just a big looping hook. But what's the curveball do? Sometimes it's the location, sometimes it's the speed and the location. This time it's not the location because he hung it. It's the change of speeds that gets Chris Davis.
Weaver, 22 strikeouts, 44 innings. He's walked only 6, including the one tonight. 3rd lowest walk ratio per 9 in the league. Here is Delman Young. Delman has hit Weaver hard, 7 for 18 with a home run, lifetime against him. And Young has a .300 career average against the Angels. That'll get you into a ball game. Down to 3rd, hit hard, David Freese. Stretch made by Pujols, and there are 2 down. Weaver's working in a hurry. Take a look at our Jeep Inside the Numbers for the Orioles here at Camden Yards. Welcome home.
Well, a lot of offense, and they love hitting here. I mean, they've had games with 18 runs and 10 runs, and again, this is a very hitter-friendly ballpark. But then it gives to imagine, if you're the Angels and you're struggling for runs, you get to play here.
Here's Weaver with 2 down and Hardy. That'll be away.
I don't know of any offensive player that has ever come in here wearing a jersey other than an Oriole jersey said, I don't like to hit here. I mean, now there have been a lot of pitchers
but I don't want to pitch here. That one is going to be popped up and backing out.
I remember Chris Hoyles had a grand slam off Sterling Hitchcock, and he said, boy, they ought to blow this place up. And, he thought it was a routine fly ball, and next thing you know, 4 runs, 4 guys are circling the bases.
That's why we talk about ground ball, fly ball pitchers in this ballpark in particular, because it does make a difference. 1-1 delivery on the way by Weaver, and that will just miss. The Orioles, they've scored 84 runs at Camden Yards through 13 home games, and that's the most in any year since they moved to Baltimore back in '54. Their highest through 14 games also happens to be 84 back in 2000 and 2006. So Buck Showalter's team, home cooking's good. Here's the 3-1 delivery, and that ball's a base hit into left field. So Hardy is on with a 2-out single. The Orioles get their first hit of the ball game. Comes with 2 away. O's and Angels will continue the weekend series tomorrow night, 7:05. Sunday, the first 10,000 female fans, 15 and over, at the 1:35 game, get the Orioles wristlet, presented by PNC Bank. Good seats still remain, but won't last. Gather up family and friends Sunday at the Yard. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD for tickets. Navarro with a 3-game hit streak. Switch hitter getting the start at second base again. There's that off-speed breaking ball. That time it is gonna miss.
Yeah, it looked like he had a pretty good idea. Just let it break out of the zone. How about Jared Weaver? He probably thinks this. I mean, he's won the lottery. They're only getting him 2 runs a game. He already has 2, and they've only hit in 2 innings. There's a good curveball.
You notice the speeds on this. I mean, we're looking at one of the slowest velocity pitchers in baseball.
But again, you take that 68, and even if you get to 84 or 5, that's a big difference. And that it's about well, you can change speeds and get hitters behind and add and subtract.
There it is at 83.
And this guy could do it, because even the 3-1 pitch to J.J. Hardy, who can hit home runs, was away enough that all he could do was hit a single and keep it in the park.
He's got a 2-1 strike count here. Virtually no lead at all over at first base, and that pitch is going to be taken up high. And the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. So the Orioles work him a little bit here.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee you're even going to get a fastball here. The kind of pitcher that Jared Weaver is.
3-1 strike count. Hardy not going anywhere at first. In the air, right field. Calhoun started back. Now he's got a charge, and the second baseman covers for him. Giovatello went out and made the catch on it. Calhoun had broken back toward the fence. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. Angels lead. Miguel Cabrera, homer away from tying Andres Galarraga for the most home runs by a player born in Venezuela. He said, I know it's going to be big in Venezuela. Everybody's going to be proud of it. There's going to be a lot of excitement over there. And the Rays, Jake Odorizzi is the only starter in the majors to go 6+ innings 7 times this season. He'll pitch tonight against Minnesota. The Astros have used 33 different lineups in 35 games. They've had a roster move for the weekend, so there'll probably be more changes. They are 22-13, though, with a 4.5 game lead in the division over the Angels. Wei-Yin Chen back to work as we go to the 3rd inning. Cowgill batting 9th, the left fielder, and back to Calhoun and Trout at the top of the order. Chen's delivery to him, hit in the air to center. Don't wait on a pitch, it might go by you. Jones has it. Cowgill retired.
Well, I think the Angels are a pretty good fastball hitter, and what does Wei-Yin throw? So he's going to throw fastballs. Made a great pitch. I mean, I always thought even if they look for your fastball and you make a good pitch, which is exactly what happened, they're going to make outs. So if you throw it for a ball and you got to throw another one, if you throw it for a strike on your terms, which is exactly what he did, he got him a 1-pitch out. And he's just looking for an inning where they don't score a run. I mean, really, that's what you're, when you're out there, you're giving up even the home run and then the other run, the double and the sacrifice fly. You just want to have a clean inning.
Here is Calhoun. Calhoun flied out to left field his first time up. 100 points higher against lefties than righties. He's hitting .387 off the left-handers. 1-0 delivery on the way, and that pitch is going to be taken up high. He is facing Wei-Yin Chen for the first time in his career. And since going into the leadoff spot for the Angels, he's hit .320. 2-0 count to Calhoun, and that pitch will be away for a ball, so 3-0.
Yeah, you at least want him to put, or at least attempt to put the ball in play, because if you're Wei-Yin Chen, you know who's on deck. And that's Mike Trout.
3-0 delivery, not close. So there's the first walk surrendered by Chen. Puts a man on with 1 down. And we'll give Trout the chance. Celebrate summer at Oriole Park. Pick up the new Birdland Summer 6-pack. Any 6 games, your choice throughout the year. Savings up to 20% off the cost of single game tickets. And build the perfect plan for you. Great rivalries, popular promotions, bobblehead dates, whatever you like. T-shirts, fireworks included. 888-848-BIRD. Orioles.com 6-pack if you'd rather. Mike Trout, a strikeout victim, his first time up. He will foul that one off the other way. Has there ever been a pitch thrown to a batter in the Angels lineup that wasn't swung at on the first time?
He struck out 184 times last year, and I read an article where he took 18% of the first pitches thrown last year. This year, 10. So he's been a lot more aggressive early.
And that's kind of the story for this whole Angels lineup. It hasn't worked yet.
Well, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if you're a pitcher, yeah, you make a quality pitch, you want him to put it in play, but again, on your terms. But if you're Don Baylor and you're your hitting instructor, as long as you get good pitches to hit, I don't mean low and away sliders, change-ups, you're out. It's just a matter of like hitting like it's 2-0 if you get the pitch you're looking for.
And he fouls that one back. Got one he wanted right there. Trout carries a .272 career average against the Orioles. He's had 9 home runs against O's pitching. 3 of those have come here at Camden Yards. And he's had 3 home runs in his last 7 games. Even though the numbers are down, he has been hitting home runs. Calhoun off first base. Chen has not given up a stolen base. Only 1 has tried against him. 1-2 delivery. That was a good pitch fought off. It was inside on him and busted off the handle. So Chen holds the count at 1-2.
Well, he's a .318 lifetime hitter, and he's able to stay inside the ball. I mean, as hard as he can hit it, he can also hit it soft. And incredible foot speed. You're almost hoping there's going to be somebody on so you can have a force at a base, because if he hits an infield chopper, there's no way you can throw him out. He's that quick.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Breaking ball. Good stop made. Caleb Joseph down to get that one. Caleb comes in having thrown out 5 out of 16. He is 5th. Tied for 5th in the American League.
Yeah, the numbers coming up. Started out like 1 for 10. Like everybody, he's doing a better job. Pitcher's doing a better job of holding runners.
2-2 count. Calhoun will go back to the bag.
And the other part of that is who gets on. I mean, like he used to play the Oakland A's. If you let Campaneris get on, I mean, it's going to be a track meet. You know, the same with Ricky Henderson. Of course, what made Ricky Henderson a Hall of Famer is that he got on when you didn't want him to get on.
Ricky always said that about Ricky.
When Ricky wants to get on,
Ricky wants to get on. Ricky gets on. That's right. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Only 1 down here, infield at double play depth, and the pitch is outside. I mean, you've been going a lot of years to the Hall of Fame since it voted in. Is there anybody who enjoys the Hall of Fame weekend more than Ricky? Or enjoys being in the Hall of Fame? I know everybody does, but Ricky just. He's ecstatic.
He revels.
He does revel in it. And it's genuine. It's not put on. It's.
Boy, he's a good guy. Not when you're pitching against him, but I mean, now that he's in the Hall of Fame, he's not going to steal any bases, hitting home runs off me. I love the guy.
3 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Down the line in right, not far, and far enough so that nobody can get to it. Navarro trying to chase it down.
Yeah, Delman Young no chance because he's playing deep. You play Trout probably a step or 2 deeper because of his power.
Delman's done some running out there. He's way over in that power gap.
And the other thing, I mean, this is we saw it the other night, is that you got to be really careful. A lot of balls get up. I mean, there are some puffy clouds, but it's a high sky. It's dusk, and you can lose balls very easily.
3 ball, 2 strike count. Calhoun not going anywhere yet at first base. And he got him again. Foul tipped into the mitt. He stayed low and in the first time. Not quite as biting a pitch, but still got him.
Yeah, just time a fastball. So 92 up and away. Good location. Good late movement. Slider down and in. Great extension from Wei-Yin Chen. He's a little bit under 6'3". And he's usually, he loves to pitch to his glove side. So that's the arm side. That's a way to a right-hander. Something he worked on very hard this spring.
Here's Albert Pujols. Pujols drives another one. He had a home run his first time up. Young will get there for this one and make the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors. One left on base. Orioles will have Caleb Joseph, then the top of the order coming up. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By your local Mercedes dealership. And by PNC for the achiever in you. Barry Thorne, Jim Palmer, and our great crew on hand here at Camden Yards to open up the first of three. Orioles, a little question about who's going to pitch tomorrow for them. Bud Norris, who prior to his last start had not felt particularly well. Again, not feeling well last night and today. He came to the ballpark after the Orioles went out on the field to be examined by a doctor to see if there's a problem there. So Ubaldo Jimenez may be moved up to the ball game tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I guess the other option would be Mike Wright, who was called up. He's been a starter. T.J. McFarland, but as you mentioned and we talked about, that there's Mike Wright, and well, kind of in the middle. Actually, isn't he?
1-1 delivery on the way. Caleb Joseph.
He's a big guy. He's a very tall. It's hard to miss. But he was, what, 3-0 with a 2.62 ERA. Now he's a little bit to the left. But anyway, you know, so you have a couple of options. But I think
Buck said tonight, though, Jimenez would start tomorrow if Norris can't. Ball put down the line in right field, and that will end up out of play. What a job Caleb has done, and he is one of those who's taken advantage of this ballpark. We showed you the Orioles' great numbers at home. He's hitting .343 in 11 games here at Camden Yards. The light is shining in his direction here at home. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way by Weaver, and the pitch is outside to him. He works it full.
Yeah, he got the big double, a couple of run double the other night. They ended up throwing him Sanchez, who can throw real hard, threw him 3 straight curveballs, hung the third one. He said, why would anybody do that? I said, well, I don't think he really tried to hang it, but I said, just keep that in mind. It's all right to triple up on somebody, just don't hang it.
3-2 is a towering pop-up. Silo shot. Perez is under it and puts it away. One down. That'll bring up Manny at the top. Flat out to left field his first time up. Chris Davis with some cadoos for Manny in the off day. He said, I just think once you set the bar up there that you have the responsibility to put in the work, to put in the effort, to do everything you can to stay up there. I feel like Manny has done that. And the Baltimore Sun, Chris, on the efforts of Manny Machado. He likes what he's seeing, as Oriole fans do over there at third base. Pitch up high for a ball. Good point by Chris. A lot said about success in anything. And then you say, now the work begins. You get there and the expectations are raised. Popped up third base side. Freeze will come to the front of the mound. 2 down.
So if you're sitting there at home and you're going, well, how are they missing these belt high pitches? It's about change of speeds, and it's also deception. You got to understand. A couple of years ago, Jared Weaver, had pitched the night before, and Mike Sochi said he reminds me of what I used to see of you because you throw over your front side and you don't really see the ball. He's even taller than I was. I mean, he's 6'7". I ran into him and I said, hey, nice game the other day. And he said, yeah, but I didn't want to start out 0-4. I said, you really don't have a choice, do you? I mean, if you really could draw it up, you go, well, I'm going to be 4-1, not 1-4. But he's deceptive. So, you don't really see the ball very well. You see a lot of arms and legs, and then he does change speeds, and he can pitch down, he can pitch up. And really, you don't get 2 pitches the same speed in a row.
Diaz a fly to center his first time up. Weaver here in this ballpark, 2-2 record, a very high ERA over 7.09. 5 games pitched here at Camden Yards. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. Another off-speed pitch, double hop to first. Pujols will flip. Weaver to cover, and he has a clean inning, his first of the ball game. We've completed 3. It's the Angels leading in this opener 2-0. AA Bowie.
Yeah, out of Milwaukee, it did play with the Brewers. 27 years old. Had a nice little year a couple of years ago. 4 home runs, 17 RBIs, only 42 games, and then last year at AAA where he hit almost 300. And big, strong right-handed hitter. At least that's the. So you never know. And they said they want to have players down at AAA Norfolk that have played at the big leagues and may help you in case you get some injuries, and he may be on that list.
He's a veteran who's had great success offensively. Beautiful sunset here in Baltimore. Here is Freeze, grounded out his first time up, takes it inside for a ball. Freeze, pretty good average, 313 against the Orioles lifetime, 375 here in this ballpark. And that pitch by Chen is there for a strike. He faces this left-hander for the first time in his career. You see the numbers so far in the ball game for Wayan. 1-1 delivery to Freeze. He'll chase one up high. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Told you this Angels team has really had its struggles when it comes to producing runs, putting them up on the board. They are way down in almost every category. That ball in the air to center. Adam Jones. He's got it for the out. Next week, the Orioles and the Mariners get together. 3-game midweek series beginning on Tuesday. Ollie's Bargain Night presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Each Tuesday home game, all upper reserves, just $10 when purchased in advance. So come see Seattle and save some money. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
Yeah, 3 runs or less in 19 of the last 34 games. And Of course, Josh Hamilton no longer here, but he didn't play that much last year. But last year they led the American League in runs, 773.
Here is Ibar, takes a strike, double scored in the second inning.
Angels won more games in the American League, 98 of them. They, of course, they got defeated in a division series by Kansas City.
That ball will go to second base, right at Navarro. 2 down. The Angels are last in runs, next to last in average, third from the bottom in home runs, last in on base percentage, 12th in walks, on and on and on for Mike Scioscia's ball club. Yet they're playing 500. Now look at the difference depending on where you're playing, what division. The Orioles are 2 below 500, but they're only 4 games off the pace. The Angels are at 500. They're in second place, and they're 4.5 behind division leading Houston.
Well, that's that 10-game winning streak that Houston had. I mean, to their credit, they're a team that wins in the 60s, and last year I think they added 7, they went up into the 70s. So a lot of their young players, their bullpen is much better in Houston.
Pitch is going to miss, and a 1-ball 1-strike count. 2 down, nobody on. Giovitella, their second baseman, grounded out his first time up. Home run by Pujols in the first. Then the Ibar double, moved up in a ground ball, and Perez got the sac fly for the second Angels run. 2-2-0 for the Angels, 0-1-0 for the Orioles. First 3 innings, all about pitching.
Yeah. And there are a lot of ways to win ball games. You know, the Orioles have done it here at home with runs. The Angels over their last, they've gone 6-2. They've done it with their pitching.
1-ball 2-strike delivery on the way taken, and he's gone. That'll be strikeout number 3 for Chen. He has a clean inning. That'll be his first 1-2-3. Angels on top 2-0. College, they present our This Moment in History. On this date, 1973, Ryan struck out 12, his first career no-hitter. Jeff Torborg was his catcher. More on that. 1991, England's Queen Elizabeth was the guest of the president. The A's-Orioles game, Memorial Stadium, first baseball game the Queen had ever seen. She stayed for 2 innings. Talking about Jeff Torborg, Jeff caught 3 no-hitters in his career, the catcher. He caught Sandy Koufax's perfect game in '65. In 1970, he caught Bill Singer's no-hitter, and then Nolan Ryan's first no-hitter in 1973. Jeff, a good friend, lives in Sarasota, Florida.
A neighbor.
Spring training home of the Orioles. Yep, neighbor. And, he had quite a career behind the plate.
Yeah, he could really. I saw him do a clinic up in Pennsylvania. It was amazing how thorough and good he was. And as a matter of fact, it kind of my destiny was the Dodgers wanted to sign me, and they ended up signing Jeff Torborg.
Really?
Told me to go to SC for a year.
How about that?
And then I said, well, can you give me that in writing? They said no, and I signed with the Orioles, and things turned out real well. Yeah.
Fouled off by Paredes. 0-2 count on him. Jimmy Iwaki's first time up. By the way, I saw in looking about the Queen coming to her first baseball game, she had another Maryland connection regarding football. 0-2 to third. That'll be handled by Freeze. The Queen and her husband saw their first football game at the University of Maryland at College Park back in October of 1957, and then saw the first baseball game at Memorial Stadium in 1991. Royalty loves Maryland.
Well, that, and it's not to be confused with, the classic movie that I was in, The Naked Gun. Remember, it was a big game, and had 6 broadcasters and our own shrink, Dr. Joyce Brothers, because the Queen Elizabeth was coming.
That's right.
That woman really gets around.
It's the wave. It's the original
there you
wave.
Go.
Here's Adam Jones, first ball hitting center field. From one center fielder to another. Trout. 2 down.
Yeah, can't quite center it. And that's what tonight, so through 3 2/3 innings, been about against Jared Weaver. That's not the first time.
Talk about efficient, Jim. He's thrown only 44 pitches.
Well, I mean, they're swinging.
Yeah.
He's chucking.
The way he goes. He hasn't won a game on the road this year. He's 0-3 with an ERA of almost 6.5 in road games. He's given up the 6th most hits in the American League, the 3rd most home runs. He's given up 8 of those. That ball goes to right. Can it be caught? Diving! Oh, what a catch Calhoun just made. Calhoun going down to the top of the blades of grass, and he robs Davis of a base hit, and that will end the inning. That's 7 in a row set down by Weaver with a little help from his friends. It remains the Angels 2 and the Orioles nothing. Take the mound against Matt Shoemaker in Game 2. Our coverage on MASN 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Southwest, followed by game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN. Waldo Jimenez may be the starter tomorrow. We have not had an update on how Bud Norris is feeling. He did not feel well last night and today. Had come to the ballpark after the players had left the clubhouse to be examined, but we don't know what the result was. So we'll see.
That would be, still well within his regular time of pitching because of the off day.
Perez ground ball, pitch in and out, and one away here in the 5th. O's fans never miss a game update, behind the scenes moment, or exclusive contest. Follow at MASN Orioles on Twitter for all your latest Orioles buzz. Again, that's at MASN Orioles on Twitter. One away. Cron coming up. He has popped out. The only at bat. He's a designated hitter for them. Only 3 hits in his last 35 at bats. That's below 100 for an average over the last 11 games. And as I said, his first time up, they look for him to deliver some pop in this lineup. But here he is hitting in the number 8 spot. And he does deliver. Base hit into center field. So the DH gets a single with one down here in the fifth.
Yeah, he's a big kid, and he was up and down about 3 times last year and did exactly what you talked about. I mean, hit a little over 260, hit 11 home runs. Certainly can match him up against left-handed pitching, which is why he's playing tonight.
So Chen will go to the stretch, and Cowgill, flying out to center field his first time up, will stand in. Orioles infield set at double play depth and will play him to pull. You see Navarro's second baseman moved over to the bag. The hit number 3 for the Angels. And the left-hander's delivery will be up high for a ball. Home run by Pujols, double by Ibar, and the single here with one away in the fifth inning by Cron. 1-0 count. He'll take a short lead at first base. One-0 delivery down to third. That will be foul. Trying to pick that ball up in the air and couldn't do it. Really tough pitch like that Chen got down.
Yeah, that's what the good breaking ball does. And it's harder to get leverage on it.
This ball game starting out much like the games against the Angels last year. I said the Orioles won 4 out of 6, but every game was decided by 1 or 2 runs. 1-1 delivery. That one's foul back. See how Cowgill just jumps out at pitches trying to drive it, and a 1-2 count.
Yeah, they're not letting the fastball go by, and that's why you always talk about, okay, that guy's a fastball pitcher, and that's what Wei Chen is, but that's why the secondary pitches, when he gets them over, even more effective.
Cowgill just 5 for 28 off left-handers. 1-2 delivery on the way, and he got that one by him, and that is strikeout number 4 for Wei Chen.
Yeah, not too many lefties get in on right-handers better than Wei Chen, and you can see right to where the glove by Caleb Joseph is. And again, we saw this with Miguel Gonzalez, who's right-handed the other night. He would get ahead and then just bury his fastball off the plate or right on the corner.
So 2 down. Infield can back up a little bit, give themselves some room. Calhoun, he has walked and flied out. Just a .214 lifetime hitter against the Orioles. Pitch to him, fouled off the other way. A couple of names Oriole fans will recognize have been signed by Toronto. Luke Scott picked up with the Jays, signed as a free agent, and Tampa Bay has signed Preston Guillemette, the pitcher, off waivers from Toronto. So Luke Scott goes to Toronto. Preston Guillemette goes from Toronto to Tampa. So the Orioles will see them. 0-1 delivery on the way, came in, fouled off. Hadn't Luke gone overseas?
Yeah, I think he either played in, I thought, Korea.
That's what I thought too. Yeah. 0-2 count. Calhoun just trying to slow things down a little bit. Nobody's been able to do that in this game with these 2 pitchers. 0-2, short lead still at first base. Delivery will be outside. And a 1-ball 2-strike count. Cubs beat Pittsburgh today by a score of 11-10 at Wrigley Field. Wind had to be blown out. The game ended on the right fielder Polanco falling down on a routine fly ball. Just tripped and fell, and the ball landed in. That was the end of the game. 1-ball 2-strike count. I don't think he was hurt. He did limp off the field, but you have to limp off after that.
Your feelings are hurt. I mean,
your feelings are hurt.
I thought they were doing the construction outside the ballpark.
I mean, it's not. It certainly wasn't funny for him.
No,
it just was a big tumble bumble thing.
Well, you're right. The wind blows. I did a Monday night game there. I thought San Francisco, the wind blew. When the wind blows in the Windy City, it's windy.
And a swing and a miss. Chen gets him. That's 5 strikeouts, no runs on 1 hit and 1 left on. Angels up 2-0. With you here at Camden Yards. Are we going to go through a season of 5 teams in a division, the East, separated by about 4 games the whole way?
Well, most people and will tell you they're very evenly matched.
Yeah.
The Yankees have played better than I think people thought they were, and a lot of that has Pineda's 5-0, 6-0, or on his way to 6-0. Tampa, new manager, done really well because of their pitching, and they have a very good mobile defense, leading the American League in the least amount of errors. And Weaver is pitching a 1-hitter tonight.
Yes,
I mean, if you look at the numbers, and you can't do that because he's won 134 games, best winning percentage ever for an Angel over the course of his career.
Ball put up in the air by Delman Young. Another one popped up behind second. Giavatello there. He's got it.
So you can pitch up in this league at 84 miles per hour if you're deceptive, if you throw across your body, if you throw strikes, and if you change speeds. He's done it now. He's gotten 13 outs.
Amazing. Really, the Orioles have a single by Hardy that came in the 2nd inning.
And that was on a 3-1 pitch, so he wanted to make JJ swing the bat, and he did. Got it away just enough where he reached for it and hit a nice soft single to left field. And so a lot of times you can control the home run bat of somebody like JJ Hardy by just location.
There's a number. Look at this. And he dropped it and threw it away. Ball will be traced down the line by the second baseman Giavatello. And Weaver, who had an easy out right in front of him, is his own worst enemy.
Gary, when you're 6'7", it's a long way to the ground. Right here, look at that ball, the kind of pool cue, and all he had to do is pick it up, which he didn't, and then a very ill-advised off-balance throw. And so this is like you just made a great pitch and you threw a double because you didn't pick it up. And whether you play, I always talk about in the National League, you get to hit and bunt and all that kind of stuff, but you become a defender once you. So maybe that's the break the Orioles need, because they really have not been hitting the ball very hard against Jared Weaver.
Mike Scioscia over there talking to himself. The error committed puts Hardy at second base, and here's Navarro popped out. And this is, as we mentioned earlier, Weaver has some strange numbers. He retires 80% of leadoff batters. That is extraordinarily high. Yet his ERA is 5, and with runners in scoring position, 3.08 against him.
And lifetime, it's 231. So that tells you that
he's all over the place with the statistics.
Well, yeah, and you talked about it again, home and road. Road 0-3 with a 6.38 ERA. A little bit different at home. Won his only game, 1-1 with a 3.26. But Mike, but you're looking on and saying, I hope that doesn't make a difference in this game. But Chen's pitched well.
Yep. Pitch, fastball is in there for a strike. Weaver's slugging percentage has gone up 100 points from last year. An extraordinary number. And the OPS, the on base plus slugging, has gone up 90 points from last year. Those just don't happen. There's that changeup again. Shallow center. Who's going to get it? Nope. Trout came on. Looked like Ibar's shortstop might give it a whirl. He got called off, and you see him chatting out there just to make sure and away they go. When the Orioles win, everyone wins. When the Orioles win and score 5 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu online orders at papajohns.com by entering promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, valid at participating Baltimore area Papa John's. Caleb Joseph, one of the best in these situations. He's hitting with an 8-for-20 clip with runners in scoring position. That is 8th best in the American League. He's got Hardy out at second with 2 down. And the pitch on the inside corner for a strike.
That might be the hardest fastball he's thrown tonight at 85.
2-base error allowing Hardy to reach. Weaver trying to record the final out. Caleb Joseph on a check swing. It's inside. Kind of leaned around that one. And a 1-ball-1-strike count from Weaver.
So imagine if you're a right-handed batter. He stands way over the third base side. He's 6'7". He steps to his right. So he's almost stepping probably even with your front hip. And then because of his angular body and delivery, he has the ability, and I don't know how he's been able to do it without hurting his arm, throw the ball down and away to a right-hander. I mean, he's set up to throw everything inside, but again, this is why he's always been successful.
1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Caleb on the off-speed delivery. Fouls it back. 132 wins and 73 losses for the 32-year-old Jared Wicke. Caleb Joseph trying to find a way to get that run in. The Orioles looking for just their 2nd hit of the ball game here in the 5th inning. This, of course, against Weaver, coming off that no-run, 6-hit, complete game performance against Houston. Under that high set, 1-2. Into the outside. Caleb has shown great patience this season.
He's really letting the ball travel. He's done such a good job. I mean, spring training was all about him. His wife was pregnant. Son Walker was born during spring training, but it was working on the swing. We saw Scott Coolbaugh, the new hitting instructor, just trying to maybe take a little bit of the hitch and make it more of a trigger.
He struck out 23 times, has walked 12. 2-2 delivery, and he takes another one out there. So the count goes full, 3-2 to Joseph. Manny Machado hoping for an at-bat, waiting in the on-deck circle. If Joseph can keep the inning going.
Yeah, and he's taken 2 breaking balls. A lot of times when you're pitching, Gary, you throw a breaking ball and you want to see how the hitter actually tracks it. And it appeared to me he had him tracked, and that's why he was able to take him.
3-2. Delivery on the way, and he got him. So a couple of strikeouts for Weaver in the game. No runs, no hits, an error, and a base runner left in scoring position. Sunset time, Angels up. Back real soon. Not yet. He's on the DL. That back injury is still bothering him, and they say he's got to have further treatment now before he can go back to baseball. Segura, Milwaukee, 15-day DL, fractured right pinky finger. That came yesterday. The good news on this list is that Juan Lagares, the outstanding center fielder, missed the last 3 games with a Mets muscle strain under the right armpit. Mets are playing tonight. He is back in the lineup, so we hope that injury is passed by. But that list of DL major leagues is long with some well-noted names.
Well, how about Alex Cobb has to have Tommy John. Smiley for Tampa, maybe a labrum tear. Brandon McCarthy, 4-year deal, $48 million with the Dodgers. Tommy John just keeps.
It's just amazing. Yeah. It seems like every day there are 2 or 3 major players added to the DL. Wei-Yin Chen working here. He's got Mike Trout at the plate. He has struck him out twice. And the 1-1 delivery to him. Ground ball to the hole. Navarro over. Can't get it. He actually overran that a little bit. Trout will be on with a base hit. He gets the single. 1 for 3.
Yeah, look, catchable. Not an easy play. Hit hard. You can see him up the middle. has to go a long way. And again, when you're moving that fast, can you get the glove down? And the answer was no. Kind of put the shift on, and he just hits it to straightaway second baseman, but nobody's playing there.
That'll be hit number 4.
So Trout, pretty much their running game. 12 out of 21. He's got 7 out of 8.
Against Chen, who gives up nothing in the way of stealing a base. Short lead over there. Pujols up. Pujols delivered the home run. First inning, his 6th of the year. There you see where he struck the sphere.
Kind of down and in. And then the fly ball to right field was up and away the second time.
1-0 count.
I'm not throwing it back down there again if I can help it.
Shift on. Ground ball. Big chopper. Manny Machado. Navarro. He's got plenty of time in the dirt. It'll go wide. Joseph backing it up. Can't field it cleanly. The throw that is also backed up. Flip back and he's safe. Little League play number 16. Throwing the ball around.
Well, Trout gets down there quickly, but that's the problem for Navarro. But any kind of decent throw with Pujols' lack of speed, so you give him an extra out, and not only to give him an extra out. I mean, so here's your 5-4, and again, I mean, you had time to throw it, but I think that he got a little concerned with Mike Trout, and of course, Trout's job is to try to intimidate him. His hitting instructor was one of the best. And then right there you could see Caleb Joseph. The throw goes by him, but of course Navarro couldn't reach across Pujols and nicely backed up. So again, I mean, you've already thrown it. If you make a decent throw, not that Trout didn't get down there, it's 2 outs. Can't assume it, but boy, what a difference it makes, especially when you have not scored and you're down by 2.
So it'll be a fielder's choice. An error on Navarro, allowing the runner to go to second. Pujols now freeze. He has grounded out, flied out, 1 down. So with 1 away, give him a chance. Let's take a look at our Express Care stat of the night. A LifeBridge Health partner. For locations, visit whywaitinther.com.
Yeah,
Wei and Chen at the top.
Waka started out 5-0. Norris is in the minor leagues. Wainwright had Tommy John. Keuchel really pitching well for Houston. One of the reasons they are in first place in the American League West.
A 1 delivery on the way down the line. And there'll be no play on it.
You know, if you go back to that play, I was talking to the infield coach, third base coach for the Orioles, Bobby Dickerson, and he said, listen, we have, 12 throwing errors. But he said sometimes throws that are either bounced, like that one, your job as an infielder is to keep the ball in front of you. So it becomes a fielder choice. And now watch this. If Chris Davis, it's not a great throw, but if he just goes out and blocks the ball, then all of a sudden you don't get the Pujols advancing a base. So he said we're not very good at that, and not just blaming Chris, just in general. You know, throws from the outfield, throws from Caleb Joseph or the Oriole catchers to second base.
Again fouled the other way by Freeze. He's 7 for 31 with runners in scoring position.
So errors don't tell you the whole story, I guess, is what Bobby's saying. But I will tell you here, a good throw there, and you get yourself a double play.
Double play.
See, he's got plenty of time. He just, again, he gets a little intimidated by the fact that Mike Trout is down on him. It was a very clean slide, doing exactly what he's supposed to do.
0-2 count, runner off second base, and got him on a call, third strike. A big strikeout. He doesn't like it. There's a word with Eric Cooper.
Well, David Freese is about 6'4". I think he thinks this ball is low. Let's see how Joseph catches it. I mean, he really doesn't bring it back into the zone. Just a little breaking ball that stays down. Got to understand, it's also where the ball goes across home plate, not sometimes where you catch it, especially on a hook.
6 strikeouts for Wei and Chen. Wei has had a season high of 7 against the Yankees. His career high is 12. Ball will be chopped down the third base side. That's going to end up foul. Ibar picked up a double and scored in the second inning. He has also grounded out. So Chen trying to work his way out of this inning. 2 down. That's a big strikeout to pick up. The way this ball game is going, every one of these potential runs, at least at this point, looks like it'll really matter. And we are in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, Ibar is the master of the infield hit. 22 last year, 145 of them. in the last couple of seasons. And so right here, even though he does have great speed, don't let the ball get by.
And big numbers against left-handers. 321 off the lefties. 245 right-handers. 0-1 the count on him. Ibar off the fist, fouls that one back over the screen.
But he is red hot. And, he doubled, he grounded out, so he's what, 16 for his last 38.
Carries a .417 average over the last 10 ball games. He's raised his average 62 points in the last 10 games. And they have really needed that, obviously, and with their offense struggling. Chen with the 0-2 count. Out at second base, Pujols. Orioles not holding him close. 0-2 delivery to him. Will be outside. He'll take a step out there to look at it. Keep in mind, during this 3-game win streak the Angels have had, they have surrendered 4 runs total in those 3 games. And Weaver's trying to do that again tonight. Weaver added to that with that shutout win against the Astros. Complete game victory his last time out. Here's the 1-2 delivery by Chen. Again inside, and again just chop foul.
Well, that was a really good breaking ball, and it gives you an idea of how well Manny Ibar's seeing the ball. Just to not swing and miss that. And of course, if you're weighing Chen, you're saying, okay, I'm down by 2. I can't afford to give up another run. Where do I need to go? He's covered the outside corner. He's fouled off the breaking ball. He's tried to get him out on front with a changeup. You would think in this count, Gary, maybe they'll go up and in because you still have a pitch or 2.
Here's the 1-2 delivery to him. It was in, and it'll be a 2-ball 2-strike count on Ibar. Ibar all energy in that batter's box. He's always when the pitch comes, he's moving around a little bit. The whole body moves as he gets ready to go after.
Well, the Oriole outfield very shallow because Ibar, you're going to figure he's not going to hit it over your head, even though he did double. But the other fact is Pujols doesn't run well.
Really shallow in center and right. 2-2 delivery, and he got him on the outside corner. So Wei-Yin Chen has equaled his season high in strikeouts as he picks up his 7th. No runs, 1 hit, an error, and a base runner left in scoring position. 2-0 Angels. Many ranks among those 22 and younger.
Well, let's see who's ahead of him. Bryce Harper, except in doubles. So again, that's pretty good select company, and might even be a little bit closer if Manny hadn't had both of the knee problems. Even though Bryce Harper does run into a lot of walls.
He does. So the team sometimes wishes he'd cut down.
Never found a wall he didn't like to hit. But he's off to a great start.
Weaver's breaking ball is in there for a strike. Weaver now 10 out of 19 first pitch strikes thrown in the ball game. 0-1 count on Manny, who's popped out, flied out, bottom half of the 6th inning. Manny's consecutive reaching base streak at 19 is tied for 3rd right now in the major leagues. Check, swing, ground ball. Wow. That's how tough it is to get to Weaver. As Pujols gets it over to him, covering, one down. On Sunday, the Orioles are going to host a special book signing. Longtime Baltimore sports writer Jim Henneman and the team's new official legacy book, The Baltimore Orioles, 60 Years of Orioles Magic. Jim's going to be on hand to sign from 12:30 until 2 at the official Orioles team store at Oriole Park. Copies of the book will be available for purchase, or you can buy your copy by visiting Orioles.com/book. Game ticket for Sunday required for entrance to the store. That's Sunday, 12:30 to 2 on Utah Street. Jim wrote the introduction to that legacy book. And a pitch is in there for a strike. Alejandro Diaz is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Diaz is flied out and grounded out. Weaver's given up still just one hit. Bunting for one. That's a beautiful bunt. Freese makes the throw. Oh, got him. What a play by David Freese. You got to do that perfectly or that's a base hit, and he did.
Well, David Freese, when he played for the Cardinals, was always a plus defender. Then had the ankle problems. There's the back end of the throw. Just beats him by, what, about a half a stride. So really not playing that shallow, but great anticipation to be on the move as the ball got into the bunting or hitting zone.
Would have thought he might have been in that situation against Diaz, but he was not. So quickly, 2 down. Paredes has walked and lined out. He'll go after the first one. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts for Weaver, who has given up only 6 walks in this, his 8th start. 0-1 count.
Yeah, there's so many ways to play the bunt. You know, I remember Greg Nettles used to always kind of sneak in. You'd look, and then you'd be moving in, and Brooksy would always be coming in, and you know, and then there was Pete Rose when he played for the Reds with Mickey Rivers, about 20 feet from home plate, saying you don't even think about bunting.
Another one that's a nubber. Second base. Giovatello will make the play in another 1-2-3 inning for Weaver, still shutting him down. The Orioles have had 1 hit through 6, trailed 2-0.
Time home run, 1-0 Angels. And then right here, great defense. Calhoun out in Cole Calhoun out in right field. I mean, and Jeff Weaver goes, I like that. And then 68-mile-per-hour curveball. And then a couple of strikeouts. Those are your Geico game highlights. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
We go to the 7th inning here at Camden Yards. 2-4-1 for the Angels. They've left 3. The Orioles are 0-1-1. They have left 3. Chen's delivery down to third. Manny Machado backs up. Giovatello charging down the line is retired. 1 away. He's 0 for 3. Well, this past February, the Orioles served as the mission engagement chair of the American Heart Association's Heart Ball. Together, the Orioles and the Event Share Sun Trust help raise more than $679,000 for cardiovascular disease research and education. To learn more about how you can help, visit Orioles.com/AHA. Carlos Perez coming up. Perez, the catcher, sack fly, and he is grounded out. The home run by Pujols in the first inning, accounting for the other run. 7-year veteran in the minors. Before he got his chance at the major league level, he's still just 24 years old. Made his debut with a game-winning home run against Seattle. That was on Tuesday. Became only the 4th player ever to do that. A game-winning homer in his first game. 2-0 delivery. Ground ball to short. Hardy over. He's got it. JJ's throw. He's there in time.
Yeah, they got him from Houston. Hank Conger, who we always saw, he was one of the many catchers for Mike Socio. Actually hit very well against the Orioles. So he goes over to Houston, and they get Perez. Nick Tropiano, a right-handed pitcher.
The others, the 4 players who had the home run walk-off homers in their debut: Miguel Cabrera, Florida; Josh Bard with Cleveland; and Billy Parker with the Angels back in '71 were the other 3.
Billy Parker?
Billy Parker. September 9, '71 for the Angels against Milwaukee. C.J. Cron. He has singled and popped out. Designated hitter. And he fouls that one back off Chen. Wei-Yin Chen up to 87 pitches thrown so far.
Well, last year he got the 4th most runs in the American League. C.J. Wilson, left-hander for the Angels, was number 1.
0-2 delivery on the way, and that one to the hole. Knocked down Davis. Chen covering the bag, and there'll be no play. Probably a base hit.
Yeah, it'll probably be scored a base hit. Chris thought he could catch it. The minute he didn't, it becomes a base hit. Really, I mean, it's a good pitch. Bad result for Wei-Yin Chen because he jammed him. And the ball not hit very hard. I would imagine Navarro could have caught it. Now, whether he would have made the play or not. But once you dive for it and don't come up with it, you're going to be safe. Yeah.
So the second hit for him, 2 for 3 in the ball game for Cron. Here's Cowgill, 2 down. Cowgill has struck out and flied out. The number 9 hitter. And the breaking ball will be outside. Chen has worked over 100 pitches in 2 of the starts this year. One against Boston, and the last time out against the Yankees he threw 106 pitches. He's been up almost every game. He's up in the mid-90s.
Well, perfect night to pitch weather-wise.
Yeah. 72 when we started tonight. That one inside. Good block made by Caleb Joseph, and a 2-0 count with 2 down.
Yeah, I think this is if you're the Oriole outfield. I mean, Adam Jones, we've been talking about it all year long, plays shallow, maybe a step back here. Man on first. Not that Cron doesn't run well, but you don't want to give up a ball that maybe you could keep from being a double, and the count has something to do with that.
Cowgill 2-0. Looking for one to hit. Does to center. Jones will back up, and he's got it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. Camden Yards the site. Orioles Angels 7th inning stretch. 2 strikes.
Well, Mr. Jones is in there. Kinsler, Rayburn, Escobar in Kansas City, and then Brock Holt, who's a little pesky guy for the Red Sox.
Look at that American League average, Jim.
Yeah, last year it was 176 for the entire season. Adam hit, I think, 203, so he's over 100 points higher. And the other thing is, a lot of times it's easy to strike out when you get the 2 strikes because you get another one, but he's only struck out like 17 times.
Pretty amazing.
Chris Davis on deck. When he's gotten to 2 strikes, 64 times coming into the game, 50 strikeouts, not making the kind of contact that Adam Jones has been able to do.
In their first strike again, Weaver's doing a really amazing thing right now. He's throwing 11 pitches per inning. 11. The leader is Shane Green in the American League at 13.8, and Weaver is second, 15.2. That's a base hit. Adam Jones lays one down. That's what the Orioles needed. Because every time they get somebody on, they bring the potential tying run to the plate.
And that's what Wei and Chen. I mean, he gave up the home run, the pole host in the first. Then he gave up the sacrifice fly. If they give you this, I mean, this doesn't happen by accident. We've seen him do this over the last 3 or 4 years. This is why Adam Jones is a winner. This is why he is the leader on this team, both on and off the field.
Base hit. This is the first time the Orioles have had the leadoff man on in the game. Weaver doesn't do that. As we said, 80% leadoff batters retired. Now here is Davis. He'll take it up high for a ball. He has struck out and flied out. Carries just a 206 lifetime average against Weaver into the ballgame.
Yeah, we've never hit a home run off him. That doesn't mean it can't. And as you talked about, 36 at bats, but he did hit the ball right on the nose the last time up. And Calhoun made a terrific. That was a ball that he hit so hard, he easily could have gotten by him for a double.
Calhoun robbed him on a diving catch.
And they play really deep in this outfield.
And again, off the end of the bat, there's one relay. Major league double play right there. Giovitella, the eye bar, and a quick pivot over to Poolhouse, and they turn 2.
Yeah, if you're Giovitella, all you got to do is catch it. Another big slow curveball, and Chris Davis well out in front, so he doesn't really hit it that hard. So he comes and gets it. I mean, he just about a step and a half to come up, and then eye bar. Contrary to what Navarro earlier on, watch him clear the runner, and Adams getting down there. So he gets it quick enough, and that's why your second baseman can really make it a lot easier.
Nubbed again, and that one foul. 2 down, nobody on here in the 7th inning. Young has grounded out, popped out. Delman doesn't have a home run yet.
No.
That's pretty hard to believe.
Well, I was looking at the numbers. The Orioles DHs were hitting .319, but with 5 home runs, and that's collectively. But Delman, he's only hitting .417 with runners in scoring position, so getting it done a little bit differently.
Another one of the Oriole hitters who's made those home numbers look so good. He's hit .344 here at home, 90 points higher than he has on the road. Weaver, 0-2 delivery to him, will be outside for a ball. Again, Weaver surrendered the 3rd most home runs, 8 of them. 6 have been hit by left-handers, 2 by right-handers this year. Tonight, he's been outstanding. 1 ball, 2 strike count. And Young, after 1 inside, didn't get it. Weaver gets the strikeout, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base, 7 complete. daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com and a promo code Triple Play for free entry. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. Weekend of the Preakness. A lot of folks in town for the big race. See whether or not a horse can be set up as a potential Triple Crown. But the first time
American Fair,
the top three horses from the Kentucky Derby have raced at the Preakness in a number of years, a couple of decades or so, I think.
Well, the Derby a mile and a quarter. This one with a few more curves, 1/16 of a mile less. Peter Schmuck, who writes for the Baltimore Sun, was saying he was giving the whole thing. I mean, he's not picking an American.
No.
Fair. No, he said there's another horse in there that I could not recall. And I'll tell you, the way this game is going, it's like they need to get and feed the horses so they'll be well fed for tomorrow.
These pitches are faster than the thoroughbreds. A 2-0 count. We're in the 8th inning. Angels have made the runs stand up. One in the first, Pujols home run in the second. Perez sac fly. Wei-Yin Chen's been outstanding in his own right here in this game, giving up the 2 runs on the 5 hits. Tommy Hunter in the bullpen for the Orioles. Calhoun, top of the order, 0 for 2 and a walk. 1 walk, 7 strikeouts for Chen, and make that 2. And that is a dangerous leadoff walk here in the 8th.
Yeah, second time that Cole Calhoun has done it.
And that's going to be it for Wei-Yin Chen. Buck didn't like what he saw at the end of the last inning and the beginning of this one. There were some pitches that just weren't there.
Well,
he's going to make the change.
I mean, this is what happens when you pitch well and you don't get a lot of runs. I mean, this is the way Weaver at 1 and 4, they'd only scored 2 runs throughout his starts. Pretty well early on, gives up the home run to Pujols, the sacrifice fly, but strikes out 7. A total array of pitches in and out. Righties, lefties, really pitches well tonight, but not a lot of run support. And there's a last out of the 6th inning. Manny Ibar down on strikes. Jiffy Lube pitching change. It's time for a little relief for your car too. Visit Jiffy Lube for regular oil changes that help prevent damage and wear to your engine. Jiffy Lube. Drive in today. Tommy Hunter on.
Mike Trout at the plate. Runner at first base. Nobody out. Calhoun, and he will be held close.
There they are. A lot of fastballs, breaking balls did come in against Toronto. Encarnacion hit his 2nd home run of the night against the Orioles and kind of sliced a low and away fastball on a 3-1 count right down the right field line off Tommy.
Calhoun 1 for 2. Lifetime off Hunter. After that home run given up, only when he surrendered the last 9 1/3 innings pitched over 9 outings for Tommy Hunter. ERA of .96 in that time span. So the Angels get that leadoff man on with the walk. Trout, Pujols, Freeze coming up in the order. Trout right back to the mound. Hunter, Navarro, relay. That's on the money, and there's a big double play.
Yeah, it all starts with making a good pitch, and Tommy runs the ball in on Trout's hands, and then, hey, catch it, make a good throw. He picks up his second baseman. Of course, you know who's going to cover. Good two-seamer right there. Get the hands together, snap throw, and this time Navarro clears the runner and really makes a nice effort on turning the double play.
So each team has done that to eliminate a leadoff man in the late innings. Adam Jones got out with a bunt single in the 7th. He got doubled up. Calhoun gets a walk here in the 8th. He gets doubled up. So Chen, his numbers are now final as he gives up the 2 runs on 5 hits. And there are 2 down, bases empty, and here's Pujols, home run number 6 of the year in the 1st inning. He has since flied out and reached on a fielder's choice. 1-0 delivery on the way. Slider is a strike. Our T-Mobile game changer.
Yeah, home run 526th. You know, a lot of times you look at numbers coming in, and unless you watch every game, and Don Baylor, the hitting coach, said, well, he's hit a lot of balls hard. So the 231 batting average may be a little bit of a number that you really can't count on, but he got a good pitch to hit, and here just skied it into the seats.
He's 0 for 5 off Hunter. Both he and Trout had those numbers coming in. Did not go around. Adam Hamari down at first base. So Pujols with a 3-ball 1-strike count. Freeze waiting on deck. Tommy Hunter on for Chen, looking to set the side down here and face only 2 hitters. Pujols towards that hole which the Orioles had stacked. Hardy makes the throw, and that's that. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. Orioles down 2-0. Will bat in the bottom of the 8th. Be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. With Jim Palmer, I'm Gary Thorne. Great ball game opening up this first of 3 against the Angels. 35,470 the attendance tonight. 3-5-4-7-0, and they're seeing a heck of a game. Wei-Yin Chen gave the Orioles a chance to win. Now they need some offense.
Yeah, now he needs it to leave it up to his hitters. 5th best bullpen in case Weaver falters, and it doesn't appear that that's the case.
Another breaking ball in there for his strike. Hardy's reached on a single, and he has reached on an error. Hardy now 4 for 25 lifetime off Weaver, and he speeds it up to 85 away. Now keep in mind, Weaver's coming off a complete game shutout against the Astros, so he didn't give up anything there. He hasn't given up a run here, and he surrendered only 2 hits. Hardy will pop it up Those swings we've seen all night long by the Orioles are almost like underwater swings. They're trying to wait, and just can't quite.
And again, I mean, every pitch is a different speed. So there's your really your link to Houston Street, the closer, Joe Smith, who is tied for the American League with 9 holds. Street with 11 saves.
That's Hardy blasting at left field, way back at the wall, and goodbye, home run. And the Orioles have made it a 1-run ball game. J.J. Hardy picks up his second of the year and makes it 2-1.
But J.J. with 2 of the 3 hits tonight. Soft single to left. Well, you're looking for any way to get on the board. That certainly will work.
First home run at home for Hardy this year. Getting back late because of the injury. Couldn't come at a more opportune time. And Valda Everson Nagel of Shadyside, our Maryland lottery contestant, that's worth $500. And we said Weaver gives him up. That's the 9th home run he surrendered. Pitch a strike.
Now here it is, just fastball in the middle of the plate. Boy, he doesn't miss it. Man, he likes it.
0-1 pitch. Slowed it down even more.
And if you're Mike Socha and former catcher, you got your pitching coach Mike Butcher. You go, how do you know he's really tired? Because it's not like his velocity's dropping. The location's been up and down all night as far as moving the ball around. I think it's almost like one of those things where pitch count certainly within reason at 81. Do I just think maybe I don't want him to lose, and I really trust Joe Smith and then Houston Street. So
Navarro's 0 for 2. He lashes one to left right at Cowgill for the first out here in the 8th inning. So Navarro an 0 for 3 in the ball game. J.J. Hardy pumping one out to left. They finally get that goose egg off the board, and that's it. Mike Socha's going to come and get him. So there you go, Jim.
Yep. Well, you trust Smith because he's a ground ball pitcher, and you got a 1-run lead in a home run oriented ballpark. And so Jared Weeder, I mean, again, like he said, he didn't want to lose the first 4. Certainly would like to make it 2 in a row with a win tonight. It's going to be up to the bullpen.
So Smith on his way in. Weaver with a chance to win his second. Is erased here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, the Orioles just looking for runs to get one of them against Jared Weaver, who was really magnificent, changing speeds and different arm angles. Joe Smith comes on. You can see that a lot of fastballs, 72 of them, 9 holds, as we mentioned. Last year, I mean, they had the best record in baseball with 98 wins. He was a big reason as he signed with the Angels after coming over from the Indians. And when you go back all the way to 2010, nobody in baseball has pitched in more games. So he's a little bit like Darren O'Day, where he has a little bit of a breaking ball. He can throw the sinker, and you can see keeps the ball in the ballpark. Lefties hitting him better than righties.
Smith will face the Orioles for the 16th time. He has a 1-1 record, 0 for 1 in save opportunities. There is Hardy on the right, who delivered a home run against Weaver, who will now watch to see if his bullpen can hold him to pick up that victory, which would be just his second. Caleb Joseph has faced Smith only once. He is 1 for 1 against Smith. So these two teams opening up this 3-game set in an exciting ball game. Pitch will be taken for a strike. The 9 holes Jim talked about, Smith leads the major leagues in that sort of unofficial but much negotiated figure of holds.
Well, that's your job if you're the bridge to the closer.
0-1 is there.
Last year after they traded for Houston Street, he had 15 saves before they got Street last year. There's the Oriole closer, Zach Britton.
Smith is 0 for 2 in save opportunities this year.
Yeah, he's one of these guys that can live at the bottom of the zone.
0-2 is foul.
Kind of like that from Caleb Joseph, just trying to react to the ball away and trust your swing on anything down and in, and that's how you flick the good pitches foul.
He has popped out, struck out. Manny Machado will get a shot at it with only 1 away here in the 8th inning. Outfield moves a little bit more to right. Trout backs up a couple of steps on Joseph after the last swing. Down to third and foul. Came inside on him that time. And the 2-strike count on Caleb Joseph. Well, the 2 starters, pitchers of record, both doing themselves proud in this ball game with their performance, but we'll see with a 1-run differential what the bullpens do with this one. Wei and Chen, 2 runs, 5 hits, 7+. Weaver, 1 run, 3 hits, 7 1/3. 0-2 pitch, and he got him to go after one outside.
Yeah, you react to the way the hitter reacts to you. So Joe Smith, sinker, 4 of them in a row, and then the big sweeper. And Caleb thinks it's going to be on the first one he's seen. So they can tell you he has this breaking ball, and he knows he has it. But then he waves at it because it was thrown in the perfect place.
31-year-old right-hander will face Manny Machado. Manny with the 0 for perhaps his 6-game hit streak and his reaching base going for 20 in a row. After it here and a strike taken.
Yeah, the first at bat was the best. I mean, he screamed one, but Trout ran it down.
He has since popped out and a 3-1 put out. 0-1 delivery by Smith. One of the great variations used by managers from starters to relievers, the differential in velocity, keep hitters and their swings off balance. I mean, Smith's pitch got to look like it's going 190 miles an hour after Weaver. That'll go off the mask and foul.
Well, it's kind of been an interesting week as far as looking at guys that have, if the Angels would go on to win, and of course it's Royals still have 4 outs to go in regulation. You would have had Burley won his 204th game, and I don't know if he threw a ball 85 miles per hour, but he changed speed well. He gave up a couple of runs, and then late in the ball game, Burley against Tillman, the Jays broke through.
1-2 delivery, sweeper that's going to miss outside. 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, this is not the. I mean, this bullpen is the 5th best bullpen in the American League, but they don't have the. And I was talking to Mike Socia about that. They don't have the hard throwers, but they can make their pitches.
Swung on and fouled off.
And for Smith, it's just, hey, going to make their living around the kneecaps.
Manny 1 for 3 off Smith in his career. 2 down, nobody on. Orioles down a run here in the 8th inning. Hardy the home run leading it off. The Orioles' 3rd hit of the ball game, being out hit 5-3 by the Angels. Diaz on deck. 2-2. Smith's delivery. That'll be outside. Manny had swung at 2 of those, so he thought he'd try it again. Full count, 3-2.
Now, the one thing for Joe Smith, and when you're trying to maintain a 1-run lead, is you have to throw a home run.
Here's the 3-2 delivery. Machado up the middle, base hit. stung that one off the top of the mound, and the Orioles will get the potential go-ahead run to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Right back up the middle. That's what you do with 2 strikes. And he hits this ball hard. And Smith tries to get the glove down. No chance. And now, we talked about when they were down 2-0, all they had to do is get a guy on to have the tying run. Now the potential go-ahead run comes to the plate. And
so Manny keeps his streak alive. 20 consecutive ball games that he has reached base, and he's got a 7-game hit streak to go with it. Throw over Pujols. De Aza 0 for 3, robbed by Freese on a tremendous play on a attempted bunt for a base hit. As a result of that play in the 6th inning, Freese is now not even with the bag at 3rd. And the pitch by Smith will miss away for a ball.
Yeah, you talked about the fact that the Angels have 2 catchers. Chris Iannetta only thrown out 3 of 20. Carlos Perez told a different story. He's caught 5 out of 6, and Manny leads the Orioles with 5 stolen bases. Been caught 1.
Sidearm throw, sub throw to first right there. Yeah, Mike Scioscia said Perez in the catching department has really impressed him. He likes the way he handles the pitchers. Says his release from behind the plate is outstanding. He's got a great arm. 1-0 count. De Aza waiting on it. That one will sweep back in on the outside corner for a 1-ball 1-strike count.
And if you want to see an outfield that plays deep with a 1-run lead with a man on first, just look at
Trout. You can't see him up there.
He's where? From Millville, New Jersey. They said it's 113 miles. He's almost home.
Yeah, a couple more miles. Again, the throw over to hold Machado. That's Mike Scioscia. That's the former catcher manager relaying those signs for the throws over to first base.
And now, of course, you have a veteran pitcher, so it's not going to bother him. I mean, Smith, as you mentioned, 31. Pitched in more games since 2010 than anybody in baseball, so he knows how to hold runners on.
2 down, 1-ball 1-strike count on De Aza. Another one that comes in. That one a little fatter pitch, but still tough, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
And they know Diaz is a better fastball hitter, so he just throws him a breaking ball, and not only does he throw it, very much like Darren O'Day, he throws it for a strike.
Left-handers hitting only 206 off Smith. 1-ball 2-strike delivery, and then come way inside, jackknife him away at 90. 2-2.
Yeah, you want to open up the outside corner. That's the way you do it. Not only that, he went up a couple of miles per hour to get it in there.
Manny Machado the lead at first. 2-2 delivery. Diaz back into the screen with that one. 1 for 6 off Smith. De Aza looking for a big second hit off this right-hander. Manny looking over to third.
Well, Camden Yard, we always talk about how small it is, but when you play as deep as they are, and I understand the reasoning, there's a lot of holes out there. And that's what Diaz is just trying to do here. His power is on the inside half, where he just drops the bat head.
2-2 delivery in the air. That's why they were playing deep. Calhoun will get there, and that will do it. The Orioles get a run on 2 hits. They leave 1. They've made it a 1-run ball game on 1 swing of the bat. Hardy picking up his 2nd home run of the season off Jared Weaver. Angels 2, Orioles 1. To the 9th we go. Coons. Book your low fare now at southwest.com and by coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. What a great ball game for this crowd to enjoy. Hoping the Orioles can get it done in the ninth. First, though, Hunter will try and stop the Angels towards the shift, and he got the advantage. Freese delivers the leadoff single as Navarro had moved towards second base, and that's right where Freese put it.
Yeah, he had a routine ground ball, except you're playing up the middle. And they're going to pinch run for David Freese.
I mean, that is such a big run, huh? Now Featherstone will come on to run at first base for David Freese. They'll try and get a big run here in the top of the ninth inning. Taylor Featherstone on at first.
A Rule 5 player.
Now let's see what they do with it. The Orioles will play bunt. Ibar, who's really good at that. He had a double first time up, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Manny Machado's way in at third base. Throw over, and Ibar runs his hand up the bat, which means nothing. Because Ibar did it after the throw had gone over to first base, so at least keeps people thinking about what he might be doing here.
Well, he scored the go-ahead run to this point by the double. Right off the second with a double.
He's got one sacrifice this year. He does not square. Base hit up the middle. He stung it. Featherstone will go to third easily, and Ibar against the book does not lay down the bunt, and the Angels have runners at first and third.
Boy, when I first came up, I played for Hank Bauer, and Hank used to let you hit because he thought fastballs would be coming, even if you were a pitcher. And it looks like that's what Mike Scioscia was thinking. You know, probably going to be a bunt, probably going to get a fastball to hit. And again, Ibar, their hottest hitter. Second hit of the night.
He stung that one. So first and third, nobody out. That's 7 hits in the ball game for the Angels, and a chance for a ninth inning. Anything here in the ninth to add to that 2-1 lead. The Angels are 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position so far in this game. Giavotella is 0 for 3 at the plate. The infield will play in. With nobody out, they want to stop that run. Featherstone, the runner at third base. Up and in. Now back Giavotella off the plate. The Angels as a team 10th with runners in scoring position in the league. Brad Brock in a hurry. Brian Mattis, left-hander, ready. You've got Carlos Perez, right-handed batter, on deck. Giavotella 1-0. Back to the bag goes Ibar.
Yeah, a lot of options here for Mike Scioscia.
Ibar 0 for 2 stealing bases, but a situation where you might want to get Ibar in a rundown.
Oh, the old kind of fall down, take a couple of steps, fall down, and hope that Tommy Hunter throws over there. And meanwhile, the runner, another one up and in.
And with a count at 2-0, may want to forget all of that and just see if he can throw a strike here. There's Street and Salas up in the bullpen. It's a closer, Houston Street.
Yeah, they just signed him to a 2-year extension. So they extended his contract. Very pleased when he came over last year.
2-0 count. Tommy Hunter working in a precarious ninth inning. Ball driven to the gap. Jones going over. Adam reaching. He'll make the catch. Runner will tag at third. Featherstone will score. Ibar went back to the bag. So Giavotella got it done. The sac fly, and they get that run back. It's 3-1.
Well, the second of the night. Perez in the second inning after the Ibar double. So again, you're struggling for runs. You get the leadoff home run, and then you play small ball as far as with a man on third, less than 2 outs, try to put something in the air, and they're able to do it.
Now their catcher will stand in. Carlos Perez, sac fly, 0 for 2 officially in the ball game. Runner on at first base and one away. Game held for a moment. The Angels wanted to get a catcher in from the pen. Throw over to get him back. And let's see whether or not they would think about running here with Ibar. Perez, who's been so good for them. here in the limited opportunities that he's had. Infield at double play depth. Pitch will be taken for a strike at the knees. Perez in just his 7th game already has 5 RBIs. Came into the ball game hitting at .318. He's a career .380 hitter in the minor leagues. Was really tearing it up in winter ball. Played for Caracas last winter. Hit .329 with 4 home runs. He felt he needed to get some more games in to get recognized by somebody, and it's paid off for him.
And he's got pretty good size.
Yeah. 0-1 count, 1 down. Pretty good lead for Ibar. Not running. Ball reached for and fouled off the end of the bat. 0-2. He too checking down at third to see whether Ibar might be taking off here. Gary DeSarcina's the third base coach.
Yeah, he stole 30 bases about 5 years ago, 16 last year.
Not running. Manny Machado, Navarro 1, Relay, Davis 2. So they get the double play, but the Angels get a run on 2 hits. No errors, nobody left. Bottom of the 9th. The Orioles need 2 to keep it going. This ball game, the Orioles down by a score of 3-1. They'll face the closer.
There you go. Fastball, 42% of them. Breaking ball, that's a slider. He loves it because he's probably his highest percentage pitch at 74%, about 82 miles per hour. Fastball about 89, and then the changeup in the a little bit above 80 miles per hour. So 11 out of 13. You can see he strikes out more than 1 inning, and usually you have to earn your way on.
He will face the middle of the order. Paredes, Jones, and Davis. Featherstone, who pinch ran for Freeze. The third baseman stays in at third base, and he did come around to score in that sac fly by Giovatello. So the Orioles bat here, Buck Showalter's ball club, in yet another tight game against this Angels team, going for a season high 4th win in a row. And Paredes will lead it off. He's drawn a walk. He is lined out, and he has grounded out. Talking about Paredes going after pitches. Saw a note today. He swings at 57% of the pitches that are thrown to him in any given at bat.
Well, that's again the impressive thing about Jared Weaver. He probably didn't. He might have known that. I mean, he's a veteran enough. But again, if you make your pitches, you want hitters to be aggressive, but you want to do it on your terms. But the other thing he can do is he can bunt his way on, and that's what the Orioles are looking for, base runners.
And in at third base is Featherstone. Street's delivery is swung on and missed.
Yes, Street is not going to overpower you. I mean, they don't have anybody that throws in the mid-90s in their bullpen, which doesn't mean anything that they can't get you out, because they can make their pitches.
Street's 11 for 13 save opportunities. Another swing and a foul ball. He's gone 38 out of 32 since joining the Angels.
Jerry, I remember reading, and he comes out of the University of Texas, and he played in 3 consecutive College World Series. But he said, somebody said, well, you get nervous when you come in to close. He said, I've done this so often. I mean, this is what I trained for. As far as making your pitches and taking your chances. Used to throw a lot harder.
0-2 delivery. Paredes will take it down low, 1-2.
But he can pitch down in the strike zone, and he loves the slider, righties. And again, very unorthodox. He starts in the middle of the rubber. He actually comes off the pitching rubber, but then gets back in contact, which is what the rule says.
Paredes against the Orioles, 7 out of 8 in saves. No record as a 1.88 ERA. 15th game he's appeared in against the Orioles in his career. He'll miss up high with that, so after getting ahead, count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Paredes to be followed by Jones and Davis here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 3-1 ball game. Orioles have been out hit 7-4 so far in the game. And always that leadoff man in the 9th inning so important if they can get on. That pitch is going to miss. So Street goes 3 balls, 2 strikes on Paredes.
No, he ought to get a pitch to hit. And, still trying to extend that 12-game hitting streak, but he'd take a base on balls here. Anything to get on for the big guys. Well, actually, he is one of the big guys. Get on for the other guys.
Big guy right now. Here's the 3-2 delivery, and he got him.
Okay, the ability to trust your stuff. I mean, it's only 87. But it's not in the middle of the plate. We saw Jared Weaver do that all night long. Got it in off the middle of the plate to the corner. A little bit of late movement. And the big swing, and Jimmy Paredes couldn't make contact.
Jones 0 for 7. Lifetime against Street. Adams had a base hit, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Weaver a run on 3 hits over 7 1/3, the potential winner. Chen just 2 runs, 5 hits over 7 plus, could be the loser. Street is after the save. 1 down. Jones will take it, and it is in there for a strike. Angels trying to go a game above 500 if they can pick up the win here, something they haven't done since they were 2-1 to start the year. 0-1 pitch to Jones. There's the big hit the Orioles needed. Calhoun will chase it down in right field, and Adam Jones has a 2-hit ball game. And just as we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
J.J. Hardy, Orioles had not scored to this point, and then he hits a home run off Jared Weaver for at least to this point, the only Oriole run. Home run number 2 for J.J.
And here is Chris Davis. Orioles down 2, potential tying run at the plate. Chris has faced Street only twice, 0 for 2.
Well, that's a great at bat by Adam Jones, because he looked away, got it, and just smoked it into right. There's a fastball.
Strike. Snyder's come out in the on deck circle. He would pinch hit for Delman Young against the right-hander. Exciting finish to this one, and just the first of 3. Left-handers are $1.85 off Street. Right-handers just $2.08. Shift on. Towering fly ball. Center field. Trout will put it away. Runner tags. Jones will get into second base easily. Stays on the bag. Davis retired, 2 down. He gave it a ride, and the fans were up out of their seats.
Yeah, Adam knows the ball's in the park, knows it's deep enough, and unless he slipped, which he did, he's going to make it. So it takes the force away from the infield.
The Snyder will be the pinch hitter for Delman Young. 2 down, runner at second base. Orioles down to their final out to work with here. Keep this ball game going. He's faced him only once, 0 for 1 off Street. Breaking ball in the dirt. They want to check. He did not go around.
Yeah, he pitches righties a little bit different. A lot of sliders. We saw the low and away fastballs against the lefties. He'll turn the changeup over, which was that. Torres was able to keep it in front of him. they do play Snyder. We've seen Travis hits a lot of balls to shortstop. Whether he can do it here or not, because if he hits a routine ground to shortstop, Jones will make it 3-2, and he'll be at first.
1-0 delivery, throttle back at 80.
Yeah, that's a changeup, and he turns it over.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Houston Street. Now, if the Angels can come away here with a victory the way it is right now, they'll have allowed 5 runs in their last 4 games if the Orioles don't score anymore. Street, 1 ball, 1 strike. Snyder and a swing and a miss on 1 up at 88.
Yeah, so 88 looks like about 95 after the 80-mile-per-hour changeup. I thought Mike Scioscia said it well. He said, well, we're going to go through Baltimore, then we're going to go to Toronto for 4, then we're going to go to Boston, and we'll see if our pitching is as good as we hope it is.
Big East Coast swing for the Angels. First time they've played out of the West, just like the Orioles, first time they're playing the West. 1-2 delivery and off the end of the bat and foul. So it'll stay at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jones back to second base. Run that matters is right there at the plate. Got to get him on and get him in if the Orioles are going to continue this ball game. 2 outstanding veteran managers in Scioscia and Buck Showalter. They've seen a good deal of each other over the years from those very positions. Here's the 1-2 delivery by Street, and he got him. This ball game's over. So Street comes on, a couple of strikeouts here in the 9th. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 1 left on base, and the Angels open up this series with a 3-1 win. They have a 4-game win streak, and there's a look at the final line. 3-7-1. Weaver gets the win. 1-5-0. Chen takes the loss. Game 2 coming up tomorrow. Bud Norris expected to start against Matt Shoemaker in Game 2. Coverage 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Southwest. Our game coverage at 7. This has been a Masson presentation. Jim and Rick standing by. O's Extra, presented by PNC, is coming up right now. For Jim Palmer and all of our crew here at Camden Yards, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Angels win it 3-1. Adieu.